Hello everyone and welcome to the 2023 National Historic Ships UK Awards. This year we are proud to be presenting the awards from the decks of the Royal Yacht Britannia at Leith Docks in Edinburgh as she celebrates her 70th anniversary in what has also been a memorable coronation year. It hardly seems like 12 months since I announced the last awards at the historic dockyard in Chatham, Kent. I've been really busy since, completing the restoration of the barge yacht Growler after 5 long years and getting some sailing in on the Smack Primrose. But I've still found time to get really excited about this event, and I've been looking forward to my first ever visit to Britannia and giving you the opportunity to go behind the scenes. I'll be revealing this year's winners and celebrating achievement across the maritime heritage sector, from volunteering to conservation, including of course the champions of the massively popular photography competition. We'll be posting throughout the show on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, so please get involved and send your comments or congratulations using tonight's hashtag. Before we get fully underway, let's hear from Bob Downey, CEO of the Royal Yacht Britannia Trust.
Good evening everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you aboard the Royal Yacht Britannia in this special year which marks 25 years of our trust operating this iconic ship as a heritage attraction. Britannia was launched in 1953 in Clydebank and gave over 44 years of faithful service to Queen Elizabeth and the royal family. Today Britannia is an iconic museum receiving approximately 350,000 visitors each year and is currently TripAdvisor's #1 UK attraction. Britannia is one of a fleet of vessels in our care, including the 3 royal sailing yachts originally owned by Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. They are the ocean racing yacht Bloodhound, the Flying 15 Cowslip, and the 76-year-old Dragon-class Bluebottle, which we have successfully restored to race again after being retired for 60 years. In fact, this year Bluebottle was 3rd in the World Championships. We're delighted to be the host venue for this year's National Historic Ships Award. We hope you enjoy this insight into our collection, and if you fancy a royal experience of your own after watching tonight, please do come and visit us, either for the day or for overnight stay on board Fingal, our former Northern Lighthouse board tender, which has been transformed into a luxury hotel and is the AA's Hotel of the Year Scotland. I hope you all have a fantastic award ceremony, and on behalf of our trust, I'd like to congratulate tonight's winners on their success and applaud all of their hard work which has led to this well-deserved recognition. Thank you.
Welcome to the flag deck of Britannia, the highest point on the yacht from where she was signalled to other passing ships. During her career, Britannia was very much a UK flagship in her own right, calling at over 600 ports in 135 countries. So to announce these awards, I'm going to take you into the bridge, the command point, from where the ship was controlled as she sailed the oceans of the world. This year, a record 6 craft have been chosen from the National Register of Historic Vessels to become the 2023 flagships and act as ambassadors for maritime heritage. Vessels are selected based on their cruising schedule, visitor numbers or level of public engagement. They get a broad pennant to fly at the masthead, a certificate and a plaque to mark their status. Our worthy winner for the first flagship award is the Fyfie fishing vessel Swan from Shetland for her participation in the tall ships race and her links with local groups and communities.
On behalf of the Swan Trust, I wish to thank National Historic Ships for choosing Swan as Flagship of the Year. Behind these green doors is where the Swan was built, and in May 1900 she was launched down the slip and into the Hayes Dock, which is behind me. Praised favourably in the local newspaper of the day as a boat which was well constructed and attractive in appearance. 120 years later, the Swan continues to attract positive praise wherever she sails. We would also like to thank Jane Ryder for presenting the Flagship of the Year pennant to the Swan crew in Anstruther when they were on their way to take part in the 2023 Tall Ships races starting in Den Helder and then proceeding to Hartlepool, Fredrikstad, Lerwick and Arendal. The pennant was proudly flown in the ports of 4 different countries. Returning to Shetland after the Tall Ships races, she set sail for the Faroe Islands and there sailed with Westward Ho and other Faroese-owned British historic sailing vessels. She was commented on favourably by many, and others drew attention to the fact that she had a very young skipper, mate, bosun, all former Swan trainees, which justified the intentions of the original trustees, who decided when the Swan returned to Shetland that it should become a living vessel, a community asset, something which could be used to promote Shetland's maritime heritage and be a suitable training ground for young people to enjoy the pleasure of sailing a historic Fifey herring drifter. We thank National Historic Ships for providing us with the Flagship of the Year pennant. We proudly fly it wherever we sail.
The next award goes to the Victorian Lake District steamer Lady of the Lake from Ullswater for her PR campaign, local business partnerships and high passenger numbers.
Welcome to Ullswater Steamers. We've been running cruises on Ullswater for over 160 years now. We've got 5 heritage vessels who run trips daily up and down the valley. 4 of those vessels are listed on the National Historic Ships Register. We're delighted that Lady of the Lake, our oldest heritage vessel, has been named as the National Historic Ships Flagship of the Year for 2023.
I've been skippering here and Lady of the Lake for 38 years now. So when she's 150 in 5 years' time, I'll have been driving her for 42 of her 150 years, which, as I keep saying, makes me feel very connected but also very old. So the Ullswater Steam Navigation Company, as was, later than that it became Ullswater Navigation and Transit Company, and now it's just affectionately known as Ullswater Steamers. So in 1859 a paddle steamer was put on called the Enterprise. We don't know much about her, but she was quite a workhorse. She was serving the mine up at Greenside here in Glenridding. She was carrying ore and post and all sorts of things like that. So Lady was put on to do the same thing in 1877. Tourists started visiting. Thomas Cook encouraged the company to build a backup boat, which became Raven in 1889. So they were the 2 of the original steamers, and they were converted in the 30s from steam to heavy oil. And they continued for so many years, carrying provisions for the village, for the mines. There'd be pit props, there would be livestock on there. They were known as the Royal Mail steamers for many, many years. There are still some existing posters of them advertised as the Royal Mail steamers on Ullswater as well. I think this award from National Historic Ships for Lady of the Lake is important to us because it recognises the service that Lady's given over her 145 years. She's still doing what she was originally built and designed to do, still earning a living, still paying away, and still giving pleasure to people on the lake. It's a great way to see the scenery and how the landscape knits together.
The 3rd Flagship Award is made to the lifeboat Chieftain based in Whitstable Harbour in recognition of the trips and open days planned for her 75th anniversary celebrations and her growing social media presence.
Hello, my name's Richard Judge and I'm the owner of the ex-RNLI Liverpool class lifeboat, the Chieftain. Chieftain was built in 1949 and this is her 75th anniversary. And both myself and my wife Sue, who co-owns the boat, are absolutely delighted that Chieftain's been selected as one of National Historic Ships' 3 operational flagships of the year. Chieftain is a 35-foot 6-inch class Liverpool class lifeboat, and she was built in 49 and on service at Barmouth in Wales from 1948 until 1982. During her service she saved 132 lives and helped many other people ashore. Once she retired, she moved around to various places on the coast. She had a trip boat in Wells in Norfolk, and eventually wound up back in South Wales having a major renovation in the early 2000s with a gentleman called Tony Gatt and his wife Kath. During that renovation, Chieftain's machinery and electrics were all renovated and modernised, but externally she remains as she was as a lifeboat in service. Chieftain was purchased by Sir and myself 4 years ago when I retired from the local lifeboat crew and was looking for something to do to keep me afloat. We didn't know at the time what our intentions were with her. We intended to use her as a family boat. The circumstances developed and we eventually wound up running Whitstable vintage lifeboat trips here in Whitstable Harbour. We've been running that now for the last 3 years, and Chieftain's become a very popular and much loved part of the local waterfront scene here. One of the things we greatly enjoy doing with Chieftain is sharing the story of herself at Barmouth and the RNLI more generally. The RNLI obviously is coming up to its 200th anniversary next year, and we enjoy being a part of the build up to that as well. One of the things with Chieftain is regularly meeting up with members of previous crew, descendants of her crew, and people who have actually been rescued by her in the past. One of the most surprising ones of that, we had a gentleman come down one morning who said that he was out on his morning constitution along the beach and was very surprised to see Chieftain steaming past, as the last time he had seen her he was an 8-year-old boy being rescued by her when he was on holiday in Barmouth. So we operate Chieftain here as Whitstable Vintage Lifeboat Trips. We're offering 30-minute trips up and down the bay, and we sometimes do longer trips out into the estuary to do a bit of seal safari work as well. Part of the purpose of all this is to actually fund her restoration and preservation. Anyone involved with old historic boats will know that you need to do a lot of work to maintain them. And indeed, we lift Chieftain out of the water every winter and spend 2 or 3 months overhauling her and her engines and electrics. Into the future, we hope to be able to continue this as we go and continue to invite people to join us on our trips around the bay. And I'm sure she'll continue to be a very popular addition here in Whitstable.
The next award is for a static flagship and goes to the naval cruiser HMS Caroline, the last survivor of the Battle of Jutland in the First World War, based on her public engagement in a year which also marks the centenary of her current berth in Belfast.
Hi everyone, my name is Kerry Rooney. I am the Business Development Manager here at HMS Caroline. We are absolutely delighted to have been awarded National Historic Ships UK's Flagship of the Year Award in the Static Vessels category. We're absolutely thrilled to be representing the National Historic Ships here in Belfast, and we're delighted to be able to fly the flag all year. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from some of the team.
Hi everyone, my name's Rowan and I work here in Belfast Harbour on HMS Caroline, and I work with an amazing team, and I'm delighted to hear that we have been awarded National Historic Ships UK Flagship of the Year 2023. We're all thrilled to be able to tell the story of our ship, which is an integral part of Britain's naval tradition.
Hello there, my name's Johnny and I'm one of the visitor experience managers here at HMS Caroline in Belfast, and we're absolutely thrilled to be flying this lovely flag all year round in Belfast as part of the Flagship of the Year Awards.
Hello, I'm Rachel. I'm one of the crew here at HMS Caroline. Thrilled that we've won Flagship of the Year. I think we definitely deserve it. We're an amazing ship to work on. We get lovely response from our visitors who say it's just a fascinating experience to be on board. So tactile, and the people are lovely, and I love working.
Hi, my name is Ed and I'm a crew member on HMS Caroline. What a fantastic ship she is, and isn't it incredible that we've won Flagship of the Year? Incredible. Actually, it's not so incredible. It's how it should be, because we are fantastic. Come and visit us anytime.
Hi, I'm Sophie. We're just so thrilled to have won Flagship of the Year, and I'm just amazed to work at such a great place as the HMS Caroline. We have a great team, and you should definitely come check us out.
The fifth award goes to Lightship LV21, which is now used as a cultural space on the River Thames in Gravesend and marks the celebratory activities planned for her 60th anniversary of her launch, including a creative new learning package.
Light Vessel 21 is a unique 40-metre steel-hulled lightship currently moored on the River Thames in Gravesend, Kent. Built in 1963, LV21 is the last of the Philip & Sons ships to be commissioned by Trinity House. She was stationed along the Kent coast at East Goodwin Channel and Varne most of her active duty and retired from service in 2008. Since 2009, LV21 has undergone significant restoration while being transformed into a floating cultural facility and a unique platform for showcasing creative arts, culture, education, heritage and tourism activities and events. As an iconic landmark on the Gravesend riverfront, LV21 now endeavours to act as a cultural beacon, bringing together diverse communities, visitors and volunteers across all ages and interests with unforgettable experiences, while celebrating and honouring the maritime traditions of the historic vessel. To mark her 60th anniversary, a wide-ranging programme of celebratory activities and events will run across the year, looking back and highlighting key moments of LV21's past, while also developing new opportunities for people to engage with our work. We're delighted to receive the National Historic Ship Static Flagship of the Year 2023 award and look forward to hoisting the pennant during this special year. Thank you.
The final award in this category goes to the coal barge Marjorie R, now converted into an independent bookshop in Leeds, and is given in recognition of her unique offer and public engagement programme over the year.
Welcome to Marjorie R. She was built in 1946 by Harkers in Nottingley, and she used to carry 75 tonnes of coal across West Yorkshire every day. We opened her as a bookshop last November, and whilst the cargo has changed, we're proud to see her stay in the county that she's always called home, and we restored her using recycled materials as much as possible, and she's now moored in the city's commercial docks, which is a great reference to the industrial past of Leeds and the contribution that ships like Marjorie are made to the growth of Leeds.
We absolutely love Marjorie R. She's a fantastic boat, and it's been wonderful sharing the stories about her working life with our family and our friends. And now it's great to do the same with our customers. Having this award is a great recognition for us of how important it is that we keep those stories alive, and we're better to tell stories than a bookshop. Since we started Holdfast, it's been wonderful to see a steady stream of customers and visitors to the area walking down the steps onto a historic ship, finding out how it used to work, what they used to do, and how it contributed to the growth of the local cities and towns. We're absolutely delighted to share it with our local community, the people of Leeds, and visitors to the area.
The next award is for excellence in maritime conservation, and for this it feels very appropriate to be standing in what was once Prince Philip's personal study. Always an advocate for maritime heritage, the Duke of Edinburgh was influential in the survival of many craft now on the national registers, so this seems exactly the right place to announce the 2023 winner. Given to the vessel project which most closely follows the National Historic Ships Conservation Principles set down by the previous director, Martyn Heighton, this is a prestigious award with a cash prize courtesy of marine consulting engineers Beckett Rankin, and a chance to display the impressive hand-carved trophy throughout the year. The judges were particularly impressed by the quality of applications this year, as well as the overall winner wanted to recognise another project for attention to detail in returning a historic vessel to operation by the most authentic methods possible. I therefore would like to award Tim Loftus of Johnson & Loftus Boat Builders in Ullapool the status of highly commended for his project to conserve the Zulu drifter St Vincent using traditional techniques and materials.
Hi, I'm Tim Loftus, and I'm just really chuffed to have been voted runner-up in this year's Martyn Heighton Award 2023 for the restoration of St Vincent. St Vincent's a 1910 built herring lugger, Zulu design, built in Banff on the east coast of Scotland. she's got a really special place in Scotland's cultural history, in that the Zulu was probably the most evolved of the herring fishing boats. They're incredibly powerful and fast sailing boats. They look amazing and sail really well, but their life was relatively short-lived. So although they were built in the thousands, they were also built at the advent of steam and then latterly internal combustion engines. And the Zulu, due to its extreme raking stern post, didn't convert to power easily. And so the design is almost extinct. We picked up St. Vincent on the East Coast in 2020 and sailed around to the west where we started rebuilding her over a 2-year period. She was restored to be as authentic and as true to her original form as possible. So she has no engine, she's moved completely by sail and oar, and she has no concessions to comfort or safety. She gives an amazing insight into how these vessels were worked and sailed by the people that needed them.
And the winner of the 2023 award for excellence in maritime conservation goes to the team at Hull Maritime for an exemplary project undertaken in conjunction with Dunstan Ship Repairs Limited, which has preserved the Spurn light vessel as a static exhibit for public display.
I'm Gillian Oscarby, Hull City Council's Programme Director for Hull Maritime. We are very proud and honoured to receive the Excellence in Maritime Conservation Award from the National Historic Ships UK for restoring the Spurn lightship. The lightship was built in 1927 and served for 48 years as a navigation aid in the approaches of the Humber Estuary, one of the most treacherous waterways in the world, where it was stationed 4.5 miles east of Spurn Point. The lightship was decommissioned in 1975 and was bought and restored by Hull City Council in 1983, before being moved to Hull Marina as a museum in 1987. The Spurn lightship is one element of our programme's £30 million investment in our maritime assets, supported by funding from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. The lightship received a 14-month programme of restoration work by local ship repair company Dunstan Ship Repairs. The conservation of the Spurn lightship was extensive, addressing decades of gradual deterioration, including issues with water leakage, causing corrosion and decay, and was delivered in line with UK principles of conservation. Extensive surveys were undertaken and outlined the level of work needed to conserve the lightship to protect its future as a floating museum. The vessel was put in dry dock several times for conservation-led repairs and maintenance, working to a goal to ensure preservation for the next 50 years or more. One aspect of the restoration story of the Spurn lightship was the preservation of the original deck. Initially, it was planned to be replaced as it was leaking and thought to be non-original. But after cleaning, it was found to be teak and in excellent condition. The unanimous decision was made to preserve the original deck, providing a more cost-effective and durable solution with historic integrity. The Spurn light vessel had extensive repairs to its steelwork throughout, before being totally shot blasted and repainted. Where possible, original steelwork was retained, even if this meant more work. Following the Spurn lightship's conservation work, we are confident the vessel's history has been retained for future generations, as befitting a vessel in the National Historic Fleet. Thank you to National Historic Ships UK for this prestigious award. This is the first element of the Hull Maritime project to complete, which includes 6 sites and 2 ships, and we hope to welcome you all on board when it reopens to visitors in the early new year.
I've stepped off the Royal Yacht for a moment on to wait for another Royal Yacht. This is Bloodhound, owned by the royal family in the 1960s and raced by Prince Philip at Cowsweek on the Isle of Wight. She feels a bit more like the size boat I'm used to, so I've taken the opportunity to have a special talk with Derek Miller, Director of Maintenance for the Britannia Trust. Hi Derek, it's lovely to meet you and thank you so much for having me on board. So could you tell me a little bit more about Bloodhound and how the Trust came to acquire her?
Yes, welcome on board, Ash. The Trust acquired Bloodhound in 2009 from Tony McGrail, who was a ship surveyor down in the south coast. He had taken ownership of Bloodhound in 2004 after years of neglect. It had been owned post the Royals, but it had fallen into neglect. He did it up, and then we acquired it, as I said, in 2009. In conjunction with that, on board we created a sailing exhibition which features the previous Royal yachts, including TUI, and a little bit about the Western Isles cruises. Once we took ownership, I took her along to Lymington, to the berthing shard there, and then got her livery changed from the finish that Tony McGrail had, which was the planking was visible, and we got the Britannia blue sprayed on, and then she came up here, and we've had her since then.
So how is Bloodhound used today, and does she still sail, is the real question.
She does still sail. She's basically, for most of the year, a static attraction outboard of Britannia. But in August, she used to go up to Oban and day sail in sort of Western Isles and round islands. We are exploring possibilities of doing the same thing on the 4th, say from going up to visit the bridges and then down as far as sort of the Isle of May and do the same sort of thing.
So all the boats here look absolutely phenomenal, and it's a real testament to the work that you and all your guys do here. I bet they take a lot of maintenance to keep them looking like this.
It does indeed. I have about 16 full-time staff, 3 part-time and a couple of volunteers. But notwithstanding the fact that I've got Bloodhound, I've got the other sailing yachts, Blue Bottle, which is still competitively racing and is down on the south coast. I think she was at Torquay not so long ago. I've got Cowslip, which is a static display in the compound. And then I've got the ship's boats, the fast motor launches, I've got the activity boat, and I've also got the Royal Barge, which is on display in the compound as well. We also have the Fingal Hotel, which we converted from a Northern Lighthouse tender into a 22-23 bedroom with a bar and restaurant, and also has 60 seaters function space. But my main pride and joy is obviously Britannia, and I am responsible for everything from the bridge down to the bilges, all the royal apartments, the cruise compartments, cruise areas, including the machinery spaces. We've not long painted out the generator room, which unfortunately is not on view to the public, but one of the spaces that is the engine room, and that's well worth a visit.
Well, thanks, Derek. It sounds like the engine room should be my next stop. Derek was right. As I'm sure you'll agree, this engine room really is a very impressive space. Any keen-eyed engineers watching tonight will probably already have spotted the attention to detail and hard work that's gone into maintaining this gleaming part of the ship, which is the jewel in the crown of the Royal Yacht. When the ship was operational, there would have been 80 men down here, all working together as a team to drive the steam turbine engines, which were capable of delivering an impressive 12,000 horsepower and a speed of 21 knots. Like those men, today's volunteers are the lifeblood of the sector, with many vessels depending on them to keep going. These awards, run in partnership with the Marsh Charitable Trust, celebrate the hard work and achievement of the many diverse individuals and groups who volunteer in support of maritime heritage. There were many strong contenders for this year's group award, but one application really stood out for the judges, showing the value of individual volunteers working together to promote and care for the vessel, from events and music to children's activities or hands-on maintenance. The 2023 Group Award is therefore presented to the Friends of Lady Daphne.
Hello from Fold, Friends of Lady Daphne.
We are over the moon to have been awarded the Marsh Charitable Trust Group Volunteer Award for 2023. It's a fantastic tribute to all our volunteers, past and present, who are continuing their support on Lady Daphne's onward journey. Celebrating Lady Daphne's centenary year back in Charlestown Harbour, a port she worked regularly from 100 years ago, has been particularly special. We've only been in Charlestown Harbour a short time, just over a year, but already are astounded by the talent and versatility of the group of volunteers we now have working alongside us. They all come along both regularly and willingly, and if there is a job needed doing, there always seems to be a volunteer who fits the niche exactly. We'd also like to pay tribute to previous Fold members, and in particular Alan Noak, MBE Scout Leader Extraordinaire, who invented the Fold concept with us, plus the many scouts and volunteers who helped us during our last restoration period in Kent during the pandemic. Keeping any historic vessel going in the current climate is a huge challenge, financially, physically and emotionally. We simply couldn't do it without the support of these amazing people. We'd like to thank the judges, the Marsh Charitable Trust and National Historic Ships for the award and ongoing support. It is lovely to have recognition for our achievements so far and to give us all a massive boost to continue the journey of our very loved Lucky Lady into the future. We are massively grateful to all the volunteers we have met and worked with along our journey so far, and we're always happy to welcome and recruit more into the fold. Thank you very much from the Friends of Lady Daphne.
The individual Marsh Volunteer Award goes to someone with a specialism in electronics who not only rewired the whole vessel but also saved it from ending up on the rocks when disaster struck outside the harbour. He spent 2 hours working the throttle manually while other crew members operated the gears, allowing the skipper to manoeuvre safely back to port. The 2023 Individual Award is therefore presented to Colin Barton, a volunteer with the Excelsior Trust.
I feel very grateful to be honoured with this award, and I would like to thank the National Historic Ships UK and the Marsh Charitable Trust. When I retired as an electrical mechanical engineer, I thought that would be the end of this stage of my life. But prior to this, my wife had seen an advert for volunteers for the Excelsior. My daughter had been on a school trip to see the start of the tall ships race many years ago, so I was quite familiar with the Excelsior and all it does for youngsters. So after a phone call and a few texts, I was helping out, starting to tidy up wiring and getting systems to work once more. As we all know, there is never an end to this type of work. So over the winter, during layup time, there was plenty to be done. A 102-year-old boat demands a lot of respect. The whole team does a fantastic job involving carpentry, rigging, painting and more. So I'm just one person of a great team at the Excelsior Trust, which maintains a working museum for all to enjoy. When you see school trips, scouts and other associations enjoying all the efforts, it is worthwhile. Hopefully to inspire others to consider this industry.
And finally, for this year's Marsh Awards, it's time to recognise 2 projects within the Shipshape network, whose volunteer teams tirelessly give their time to bringing heritage alive. The first 2023 Shipshape Network Marsh Award goes to a team of 120 volunteers, all of whom, with dedicated roles, work to a common goal: the volunteers of the Sutton Hoo Ships Company.
On behalf of all the volunteers involved in this fantastic project, I would like to thank you for this award. We have over 125 volunteers who are dedicated and give so much of their time and energy, and we really appreciate this award.
To build this ship, myself and the other volunteers have had to learn how to use Anglo-Saxon tools and techniques. It's been fantastic being involved in this unique project and great to have it recognised.
The volunteers not only building the ship, we are photographing, filming and documenting every detail of the project, thus leaving a legacy of information for future research. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be involved and recognised in this way.
This is a brilliant project to be involved in.
The long shed is open every day, and we have a team of volunteers who greet the visitors, answer their questions, and explain the excitement of building this amazing Anglo-Saxon boat. A big thank you from all of us.
The second 2023 Shipshape Network Award is presented to a group who are seen as guardians of a historic vessel, keeping it afloat for future generations to enjoy. The Pilgrim of Brixham Volunteers.
Hello from Brixham! Wow, thank you to the Marsh Charitable Trust and National Historic Ships for this very generous award. It means so much for our efforts to be recognised. We're all very proud of this achievement. We have an amazing team of volunteers. They work day in, day out, year round, to keep our magnificent 128-year-old trawler sailing. They help maintain her in the beautiful condition that she's in today. There are a host of people who work behind the scenes, from boat maintenance to sailing, operations, cleaning, administration, and lots more. It's brilliant for us to get this recognition. Thanks again, and love from Pilgrim here in Brixham.
Thank you.
I hope you didn't mind, but I think it's my turn for a little time off duty. So for this year's photography competition results, I'll happily pass you over to historian and TV presenter Dan Snow. It's a bit cramped in the Royal Marine Barracks, but I know my place.
Good evening everyone, and thanks for joining me for the grand finale of tonight's show as I announce the winners of the 2023 photographic competition. First up, it's the very popular People's Choice category, where you, the public, were asked to vote for your favourite image on Instagram. It was a tough choice, but you chose a fantastic winner with an impressive 388 votes. It's Ian Southering with his image crew embarking the MV Glennahoolish.
Hello, my name's Ian and I took the photograph of the MV Glennahoolish, which is moored just here this morning, and that won the People's Choice Award in the National Historic Ships photographic competition. A bit about the ferry. It's the only type of its kind in the world, and it takes 35,000 people a year across the strait here. It was built in 1969 and is crewed by local men and women. The picture was taken on a very similar morning to today. It was raining. The ferry operates in all weathers between Easter and October, and I wanted that picture to reflect that fact. It was great winning the competition, not only for me as a photographer, but also for the ferry community. So thanks very much, and look forward to entering again next year.
Next, it's an award from the competition's media partner Classic Boat for the image which most closely fits the ethos of the magazine. And this year, the highly commended Classic Boat Award goes to James Crisp from Malden, Essex, for his atmospheric Masts in the Mist. And the winner of the Classic Boat Award 2023, the recipient of a specially commissioned trophy and a subscription to the magazine, is Jeff Welch from Ipswich, Suffolk, for his image Looking Down, showcasing sailing barge Cambria.
Hello, my name is Jeff Welsh, and I'd just like to say a big thank you to National Historic Ships UK for this award, and thank you to Classic Boat for selecting my image, Looking Down. Looking Down was a shot I took with a drone of the Cambria Trust sailing barge, the Cambria, shot on the River Orwell on an early June morning. I really like this shot because the detail is shown on the deck that you don't normally see with a photograph, or the ropes, etc. I'd like to thank the crew of the Cambria as well for letting me take the shot, and congratulations to everybody else that entered the competition and was selected.
So once again, thank you very much.
The Newcomer of the Year Award is a great way to reach a wider audience and continues to see a high number of entries. This year's winner is Wayne Starkey from Timperley in Cheshire for his image Vic 32. The competition theme for 2023 was In All Weathers. It attracted 500 entries featuring a wonderful range of historic vessels and the people who engage with them in all conditions, from brilliant sunshine to stormy seas, or the still waters of the lakes and inland waterways. 12 eye-catching images have been chosen to feature in the 2024 National Historic Ships UK calendar, which is available to buy in a limited edition sale run. The calendar images are January, Harwich by Night by Jeff Welch. February, Western Belle in the Fog by Christian Grammer. March, Oyster Smack Under the Rainbow by Sean Mills. April, Masts in the Mist by James Crisp. May, Reuniting the Steam Tug Challenge with the Maunsell Forts after 80 years by Margaret McEwen. June, A Grand Day Out by Teresa Fuller. July, Summer's Day by Jeff Welch. August, River Traces by Daniel Brand. September, Grand Union Pair, Bargus and Beetlejuice, Heading Along the Trent and Mersey Canal by Kev Maslin. October, Vic 32 by Wayne Starkey. November, Against the Nature by Tadas Kaminskas. December, Crew Embarking the MV Glenahulish by Ian Southern. One image will shortly be crowned as the overall winner, scooping tonight's top prize of £750. First, I want to congratulate the runner-up, who's been awarded a very well-deserved second place. The highly commended award for 2023 goes to Kev Maslin from Tipton in the West Midlands for his image Grand Union Pair, Bargus and Beetlejuice heading along the Trent and Mersey Canal in a low winter sun. And now it's time to reveal the National Historic Ships UK Photographer of the Year 2023. And the overall winner of tonight's photographic awards, in a unanimous decision from the judging panel, is Sandy Miller from Chelmsford in Essex for his wonderfully atmospheric photo, Sally and the Wolf Moon. Congratulations.
I would really just like to say a huge thank you to National Historic Ships and the team of judges. I always enjoy entering this competition, and I was very surprised but delighted and honoured that my picture of Sally and the Wolf Moon was chosen as the winner. With the Wolf Moon announced and a clear sky forecast, I thought the 1907 Smack Sally might be a good bet as a foreground setting. But what happened next was just luck. That lovely pink glow appeared unexpectedly a little after sunset, and as I started taking pictures, the flock of waders, at least I think that's what they are, sorry I can't be more specific, just rose up out of nowhere. For me it was one of those very rare occasions when things align to make something a little bit magical happen, and I'm extremely grateful to National Historic Ships for choosing it as a picture. So I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and thank you very much again.
That brings tonight's awards to a close. It's been a fantastic evening, and it's a real shame to leave Britannia as there's still so much to see. A big thank you from me to Bob, Derek and their team for hosting us tonight, as well as to Dan for announcing the photography competition winners. I've really enjoyed my time on board, but now I'm going to head over to Fingal, the floating hotel run by the Britannia Trust, and join Hannah Cunliffe, Director of National Historic Ships UK, to bring the show to a close.
Thank you for joining us for tonight's awards event. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and huge congratulations from me to all the organisations and individuals we've celebrated this evening. As the sector support body, it's always a pleasure to put on this event, which showcases all that is great in maritime heritage and shines a spotlight on the efforts of so many to keep our historic vessels alive and thriving. National Historic Ships UK has been in existence since 2006, and we first started running an awards programme back in 2010. It's grown in strength over this time and is a wonderful way for us to raise the profile of historic vessels and the value that they bring to people and places alike. So I'd like to thank everyone involved in making these awards possible. The judges, sponsors, film crew and our partners, as well as my own team, the Royal Yacht Britannia Trust and our wonderful presenters Ash Faire-Ring and Dan Snow. It's not quite over yet. Please stay online for a chance to see all our shortlisted images, and don't forget to enter the 2024 photography competition when it opens in May. And I look forward to seeing you all, this time next year, when we will be back with more historic vessels and another set of winners to celebrate. But now, from me and Ash, here in the bar of MV Fingal, it's time to raise our glasses and wish you all a very good night.
Cheers.
Cheers.